Hey there everyone, this is Dandy Dragon, and today we got a 2v2. It is myself and Warhatter against a Hars, and I'm not even gonna try to start on that one. We are playing on Mongolian Heights. I myself am on Zhone, my ally on Delhi. Our opponents are HRE and Ayubid. So quite the interesting combinations there. I don't usually see either of these combos. Usually you're going to see French instead of Zhone in 2v2s due to the fact they can get out knights a lot faster. You're going to see Delhi quite a bit though. Though normally I would see them with someone like Mongols or Ottomans, maybe English, someone that supports what they're doing a little bit more efficiently. Whereas Zhone and Ghazis are not usually a combination. Unless you're expecting like double French or French Mongol or something of that nature. Where you're going against a lot of heavy knights. So it's interesting to say in the least. Pretty standard starts from everyone. A lot of sheep there from Teal right away. Should have looked at where he was scouting. He got a truckload. Not a ton in the middle left over, it looks like. So everyone has kind of gotten rich on the sheep. See, HRE doesn't seem to have a lot, but let's check his scout. Oh, he's got quite a few. 14 there. I got 6 there, so it looks like I came up a little short there. I got 6 there, 6 there, that's 12. And alright. Either way, doesn't matter. Everyone's got a lot of sheep. It is a very sheep-heavy map to begin with, so it does make sense that would happen that way. We're going to kind of just speed through the beginning here. There's not a lot going on. A lot of standard starts from everyone. I do go for Chamber of Commerce, try to make sure that I have all my upgrades for eco and just try to outboom them. The reason I'm going Chamber of Commerce in this situation is specifically for the fact that I don't believe I can put on enough pressure on these guys early enough. And the fact that I want to kind of try to keep up their eco if they try to both fast castle. Though, honestly, some Knight Harass here wouldn't have been a bad idea, just to kind of slow down their castle age since it's HRE. That probably should have been my choice, but you know what? It is what it is. They'll be alright. Getting a little bit of trade for eco is usually pretty helpful. Though we do see the Ayubid is already scouting me out. He's sending a Desert Raider to come fight me. It's pretty standard stuff. The Desert Raider comes out for free, so he can kind of just do that as he wants. Luckily, we are going to keep the villagers safe. They're not going to get any kills there. And I was going to trade to over here, but we're going to reroute to there, so that way we can't be pushed out as easily. We can start slowing down here a little bit. Desert Raider continuing to just kind of put on some pressure. Though a Ghazi supported by Zhone should be able to deal with that. I do have a knight coming out at this point to try to help deal with that. Zhone should have came over to help with this. If I had used the Divine Arrow there, that's an automatic 40 damage at 54 health. If I get a couple shots off, he has 0 ranged armor. I have 5 ranged damage. So, like, it's a good combination of damage there. And yep, we will get the kill on that Desert Raider. Little cheeky play with the Divine Arrow. We do see that Warhatter is putting aggro out on the Ayubid player. It's good. Try to keep those Desert Raiders from being able to do very much. Pretty standard stuff here. Pretty standard stuff. Oh, sadly, it looks like the Ghazi. You gotta just go for the fight. Desert Raiders being able to get a ranged attack means you can't run away from them. Sucks to say, but it's true. At this point, HRE is already going castle, just going all into it. Makes sense. Like, when you know you're not getting harassed, you can just go castle and not worry about it. So that's where, like, I don't even have a knight in this base. He's already gone castle by the time I can reach him. So, not really getting much work done on my end. Definitely not the best play on my end. I can always get a market up later and then just pay for my traders. If he's delayed by a minute, then that's going to be good. See, good micro there from Hars, though. He uses the scout to block the charge, so that way he can get his eco out just a little bit longer. Which is what he needs to do. He just wants to keep booming and keep putting on, keep me off his base. But until he gets the knight, once he has the knight, he can push me back. So I'm going to have to go into a retreat here. So if when you're in a situation like this, you're really just trying to make sure that your opponent's game plan is not getting off without a hitch. So I'm going to keep that knight busy, and I'm going to go straight for the relic here. Don't want him getting that. If we can deny him the relic, that's going to allow us a little bit of free range here, just because his economy isn't where he wants it to be. And luckily, we're going to be able to get on the Vills here real quick and then pull out. Can't do much, but it at least slows down his economy. He's down a prelate, he's down a Vill. It's a little bit of damage to him, and hopefully we can catch up here soon. Meanwhile, Warhatter's continuing to put on pressure. Our opponent is, it looks like he's going, or he went castle already, so he doesn't have a lot of military. So Warhatter and I have both decided to kind of take a feudal engagement here, for better or for worse. Once again, we are trying to stop these prelates from getting free reign. I should have looped around and got a knight over there on them, but I was going to see if I could try to kill these knights. Because if we can... Oh, we got a little bit of a merry-go-round going there. Joan getting the healing. If we can take out both these knights for just the cost of 1 or 2 of my own, I'm more than happy to take an even trade. Especially if we're keeping our opponents kind of in base. If we can also, once again, deny a relic. Yep. Just, even if I just slow it down, that is more than worth it to me. Just because it's something that he's not going to be able... He's going to have to pull this prelate out, which is going to slow down his economy. And just so on and so forth. Slowing down our opponent is kind of the game right now. And, yep. Sadly, feudal knights will not trade evenly with castle knights. I missed micro there. Should have killed that knight. If I had, that would have... that 40 damage would have finished him off, and that would have been really nice. Just one less thing to deal with. Because our opponent, his economy is not where he wants it to be. If we look at the total resources, he's beneath me. I'm trying to get to castle at this point, because I know I am going to have to kind of face this guy head on. And once again, just continuing to try and deny relics. If we can deny them enough relics long enough that we can go castle and have a good economy behind it with trade and the like, that means we're going to be in a better position than our opponents. And there we go. Ghazi's having that bonus versus heavy is really nice in trading up in these situations. And sadly, I do not have the eco to build a lot of military and go out on the maps. Or get a lot of military and get castle. So, we're definitely playing some catch-up here in this situation. Sadly, the Desert Raiders are putting a lot of damage off on us. We do see our opponents are continuing to go for all of the relics they can, which makes sense. They went into a castle very naked, so to speak, so they don't have a lot backing what they're doing. And once again, relics are going to be getting denied here. Don't want them getting anything that we can avoid. And this is great. Continuing to just slow down their economy is going to just give us a lot of work. And luckily, he didn't catch that in time, so we are going to stop him from getting the Wololo. If we look at yellow here, he is still only on 1 relic, while Ayub has 1 relic. So, despite going castle, losing some vills, losing some military, trading inefficiently, they haven't gotten anything, and at this point we are going castle 2, and their advantage of the age up will be gone. So that is good for us. Sadly, this is not something we can really deal with efficiently at this point. That is a heavy cav, which Ghazis are usually good against, but they are specifically camels, which they are bad against. All cavalry is bad against camels, kind of the point of them. So luckily, they seem a little bit scared of the force there, which is good. Even if we can't beat it, we can at least stop them from wanting to go all in on it and just slow down their roll. That's all we can really do at this point, is just try and be a little bit more efficient and trade up. When you're behind in terms of military and eco, that's your only real option, to say the least. Luckily, we are getting some trade, and that's about as good as we can get it. The only way to get it way better is if we traded from here to here. And you know what? Honestly, that's not worth the risk, though. And here, we're not going to be able to protect this relic anymore, so honestly, it's just not worth trying. We can try to fight them head on for a while longer, but in the end, they've outmassed us. We have to come back to base. And here, we can even see that the Ayuba player went in on my gold. And luckily, we already had some Ghazi Raiders to deal with the Camel Lancers. I do make the mistake, though, of leaving these Vills over here. I needed to pull them back and let them sit back for a moment. I thought there was less Desert Raiders than there was, so they were able to get a little bit more damage off than I expected. Luckily, they're being cleaned up right now, though we do see the Desert Lancers and the HRE Knights coming in. Luckily, between the Ghazis and the crossbows, we should be able to deal with this, and especially with TC coverage, but I'm going to lose a lot of Vills there on the charge. We need enough military there to actually be able to kill this, so diving it head on was not the answer. And luckily, they were more focused on killing that traitor than winning this fight. So that was a good pick from us, and a poor pick from them. Though losing my traders does hurt, but most of those were free, so I'm not going to be too sad about it, though my economy does take a hit. I'm at 38 eco versus, for instance, the HRE, who's on 43. So, not perfect. Luckily, we are going to take out some Desert Lancers there. We got these HRE Knights that are getting pushed back, and now suddenly they're trying to raid us instead, which is definitely where we prefer to be. Right now, we got Warhatter trying to get this relic over here to make sure we're denying as many as we can. And they're coming over here to try to snipe out these knights. So, that is, we definitely want to try to get rid of those before we do anything else. While we continue to just amass an army that can beat theirs with just mass crossbows. If they're going all in on knights, just getting like 50 crossbows, 20, 30 crossbows, basically 5 per knight, and you'll just kind of win that. So, seeing my situation though, me and Warhatter and I, we decided we needed to try something a little cheeky. And while they weren't paying attention to my military, I led them right into the Scholar. Now the Lancers are on our side, and that is a huge boost to our military. So taking a quick pause, let's look at Warhatter, 23 military versus Teal's 15. So suddenly, we were behind quite a bit. That's 8 units of Teal's. He would have had 24. Warhatter would have had 18, or 16. So definitely a huge boost to our military, and honestly, without that, we may be in dire straits just because of the mass that they're producing. That's a lot of knights. That's more Desert Lancers coming out. We really need something that can fight them head on, and a group of that many Desert Lancers, or this many Desert Lancers, is really going to help. Luckily, we also have the Elephants. We have the Ghazi Raiders. Lots of good tools to deal with a Cav Corps, especially a heavy one. So we're taking these fights is definitely going in our favor. And we want to fight this. At this point, with the Elephant, the mass crossbows, we have a lot of tools to just really melt Desert Raiders. Only thing that would have been better would have been mass Spearmen, and instead of the Desert Lancers themselves. And honestly, these are free now. We snagged a few Desert Lancers, and that's really going to turn the tide on this flank. Even if he doesn't win it, if he just trades army, if I can win my flank, then suddenly we have the area. We have the advantage on this flank, which it looks like the Desert Lancers over there are going to win. Sadly, they get a charge off on me, but we are able to start cleaning this out. Joan is here. She's going to summon in some men-at-arms. We're going to get the crossbows, and with the army from Teal dead and the army from Yellow dying, that is going to be a drop from Teal, then a drop from Yellow. A lot of fight over those relics, but in the end, the Delhi Joan team was able to get it there. Alright, well, thank you all for joining me today. Hopefully we'll catch you in the next video, and you all take care.